guys very much for joining me today. The weather around here has been awful the past 2 days. I was also in New York City. I left on Friday night, got back earlier today. So right off the bat, I'm gonna say, sorry this is going to be more of a boring upload. If you wanna see an action-packed video, check out the video from last night. Unfortunately, a lot of people missed it because I uploaded the video and then I had to delete it. I have not had a video get demonetized in like 3.5 months. And of course, last night, which it wasn't even an inappropriate video. It was probably one of the more appropriate videos I've ever made. And that gets demonetized and I was like, fuck it, I'm not even dealing with it. I'll just delete it and then re-upload it, which I did. I'm also chewing gum right now, which I don't usually do because it makes me talk weird. Can't help but look like an asshole when you're chewing gum and talking at the same time. It just looks like you don't care about anything, right? That's a joke stolen directly from Seinfeld.
Hey, Jerry, look who's here.
Lloyd. Hi, Jerry. Got some more of that gum.
Some good news though, I finally got word on what is going on with the 2019 ZR1, which I know you guys are ready for, I'm ready for. I want to get some Corvette content back on the channel. It was never supposed to be this long without any Corvette content, and I want to get it back for sure because I really, once I get that car, and that's a car that I'm going to keep long term, we can really get going on the build. And it's not going to be a crazy like drag racing build, but it's going to be a build nonetheless. I mean, I want to see how far I can take that car with the stock blower being a 2.65 liter blower. You know, I think 1,000 wheel is going to be pretty easy to obtain, which I mean, that's definitely like too much. But if you can do that, you know, if I can get there without a cam, which I'm not sure if that's going to happen, but if I can get to like 900 without a cam and without really changing the dynamic of the car, which I don't want to do a cam again. I didn't even want to do a cam on the last one, but I had to because I was going Pro Charger. You know, I don't, cams are cool, but I don't really like the way they make the car drive as much. You know, like it idles like a hot rod. It's very cool in its own way, but I kind of like the more modern car style cam, if that makes sense. Not that, you know, cammed, uncammed, it's all cool. Like there's some cammed cars that sound so fucking good, and they do sound cool, but I hope you guys can know what I'm talking about. Like it really does change the driving dynamic of the vehicle, especially when you have a manual car. So if I can get to like 900 wheel without a cam, that'd be pretty sweet. And I think it's gonna be pretty doable. They're being accosted by the Disney characters. By the Disney characters, we gotta get out of here. Whoa. I just watched a child get abducted. I have a Corsa exhaust already in the box, ready to go for the new car. And should be like the first ZR1 with a Corsa Extreme out there. Not that that's like like the first one. There is one with an Akrapovic, I think, from Weapon X Motorsports, and that sounds great. But the reason why I mentioned it will be first is because I'm happy to be the guinea pig for everybody else. We already know the Corsa Extreme sounds great on a Stingray or a Grand Sport or Z06. So I'm anxious to see what it sounds like on the ZR1. Should sound a little bit different because to me, the ZR1 sounds different than a Z06. To me, the ZR1 has a lot more crackling and a lot more pops and stuff. And what gives it that noise is in the tuning. So that tuning is gonna be the same. Just the Corsa Extreme is gonna really bring that out and make it even louder, I think. So that should be very cool. And it's gonna sound like a complete monster. In the video from last night, we raced the McLaren against a modified Hellcat. And the McLaren continues to be an impressive little car. So I think I want, you know, maybe if we can work it out, I want one more shot at the Freedom Rocket, which makes roughly, I think 1,200 horsepower at this point. So that's a pretty big jump from, you know, an 800 horsepower car to a 1,200 horsepower car, which we know the McLaren is roughly as fast as, you know, most 800 horsepower cars. But yeah, from a roll, it might be close, you know, and it's definitely going to be fun either way. And speaking of Nick, I want to get into the call-out details. Hopefully this video does get some views because it always happens where like I talk about something in a video and then I get hundreds of people asking me about it. And it's like, well, I talked about it in that upload and people didn't watch it, or they just didn't pay attention, or they didn't make it that far in the video because the attention span of people today is about 35 seconds, which I totally get, but just hopefully people get this information. So the call-out event coming up on June 23rd in North Carolina, Galot Motorsports Park. it's going to be a fun time. You know, we're selling racer spots like we did for the last one at Cecil. It's all on the website, youtubecallout.com, organized by myself, Nick, and Jack, of course. And unfortunately, the three of us just found out very recently, like a week ago, and this was our fault. You know, we should have known, but we just didn't even think about it, really. It's just not something that even crossed our mind. The track is an 8th mile track. So, I mean, the quarter mile, especially like for me, you know, I have a McLaren. It's not a car that's going to launch hard. I'm also not going to launch it hard. Like, I'm not going to launch and risk breaking something that's going to cost $30,000. So it's a car for me where, like, I launch kind of soft and then I chase people down. That's the strength of this car. Not that fast from a stop. I mean, it is stock, you know, it has great launch control, but modified, it just can't get the traction. But, you know, it gets faster as the speed gets faster. And I mean, drag racing is about 10 seconds, I mean, for a quick car. 8th mile racing is about 4.5 to 6, depending on how fast your car is. For a spectator, rather than the already short 10 seconds of action, it's about 5 seconds of action. Now, I know it seems like I'm bagging on my own event here, but I just want to be honest. You know, I want to tell you guys what to expect. I'm not going to lie and be like, oh, you know, it's a quarter mile. It is an 1/8. So it's a little bit, I mean, it's a bummer for me. I'm not going to lie about it. You know, I'm not going to try to hide that. It is a bummer. I don't like 8th mile. I've done it before. It's a great way to practice launches, but it's just so short. I mean, the quarter mile already goes by like that when you're doing it. You know, it feels like it's 5 seconds, even though it's, you know, sometimes 12, 13, 14. You're thinking, no way it's that long, but it is. And the 8th is really, really short. So it's not, for me, I don't enjoy it as much as the quarter mile, and it's still gonna be a good time, but I just wanna let everyone know, especially people that are racing. And I don't know if Nick or Jack talked about this yet, but I wanna make sure that everybody knows before the event, and the earlier I can tell people, the better. That way, you know, for planning. All the info will be down below in the description. You can buy a racer spot. You can enter for the car show. It's still going to be a great time, like I said. You know, lots of people always come out. We always get around 4,000 to 5,000 people. And if you live, you know, somewhere down south from me, I live in PA, and you couldn't make it to the ones we hold in Maryland, maybe you can make it to this one. Tons of great YouTubers coming out, though, and people from all different levels. You know, we never want to make it like only big YouTubers or something like that, which I'm not even a big, you know, I have 700,000 subscribers. There's channels way bigger than mine. We like to make it, you know, all inclusive. You know, we want to invite everybody we can. So we've got a lot of smaller startup channels coming. It should be really fun. Back to the McLaren for a second. Some pretty big news about this car. We are continuing the mods. Now, with a McLaren, you're a little bit limited. You can't do too much. I mean, we've already done an exhaust and a tune, and past that, there isn't a whole lot. You know, it's not like a Huracan or an R8 where you can supercharge and do tuning. You know, it's already twin turboed. But I am doing a twin turbo upgrade, so bigger turbos on the 570, which means we can go all the way to 8,000 when we rev. Now, I can go to 8,000 now, but the power curve of the 570 stock and with a tune is like this. It's kind of like you're going up, and then you hit like 6,500 to 7,000, and it's like down. So with the turbo upgrade, we can keep going all the way up to 8K, and then shift and keep going all the way up. So that's my great visual there for you. But basically, it's going to be nasty. So Wise Tech, I'm working with them on this project. Obviously, huge company. I'm sure you guys have heard of them, and they are doing the turbos for the car. It's going to be friggin' gnarly. So this car with even more power, more boost, and yeah, I mean, this is going to be a force to be reckoned with on the streets. Anything on a roll. I mean, it's got such great aero. It weighs nothing. It's going to be making like 720 wheel horsepower. Check out their Instagram. Yeah, definitely. I'll put it up on the screen. Check out their Instagram, and you can see one of the 570s they did with just turbos, and the car is making over 700 wheel horsepower. So it's got the aero, it's got the lightweight, got the great transmission, and it's going to be making that much power. This thing is going to be just about untouchable unless you have like a 1,000 plus horsepower car. Even then, it would have to be a pretty light one. We got some other stuff for the ZR1 I've been ready to install as well, like this carbon fiber steering wheel bezel. That should be really cool. I don't know if you can see the carbon fiber very well, but I think this is open. Let me just open this. That is gonna look really cool, and I am definitely ready to have a Corvette back in the garage, ready for the big Wang Z. And the last bit of news here for you, and the best news of the day. I don't even know if I talked about this. If I did, I'm gonna look like an idiot when I go to edit the video, but the ZR1 is out of quality control. Out of quality control finally, and should be shipped first thing Monday, which means it should be here Tuesday, potentially like midday Wednesday at the latest. Finally, the ZR1 is coming, so I hope that you enjoyed this upload. Again, sorry it's just a boring update. If you are stopping in for the first time, please subscribe. Take care. Have a great day. I forgot to mention, by the way, look how cool our bag is that we're gonna carry the cash in. Now that is better than anybody else's cash video.